The entire ballroom froze the moment the poor girl screamed. Crystal glasses stopped halfway to trembling lips. The orchestra fell silent. More than 500 wealthy guests turned toward a barefoot teenager standing in the doorway, her clothes worn from years of hardship, her breathing heavy as tears filled her eyes. She pointed directly at the magnificent 7-tier birthday cake and cried, "Please don't eat it." "She put something in your cake." Security rushed toward her as laughter echoed through the room. Some guests shook their heads in disgust. Others whispered that the girl was only trying to ruin the celebration for attention or money. But the billionaire standing beside the cake didn't laugh. Instead, he stared into the frightened girl's eyes, and for one brief second, something told him she wasn't lying. He had no idea that exactly 2 hours later, everything he believed about the people closest to him would collapse forever. Ethan Blackwood was one of the youngest self-made billionaires in America. At only 36 years old, he had built a global technology empire worth billions, owned private jets, luxury hotels, and companies across several countries. Newspapers admired him, investors trusted him, and politicians sought his support. Yet despite his wealth, Ethan often admitted that success had surrounded him with people who admired his money more than his heart. His extravagant birthday celebration was held inside the city's most luxurious hotel, where celebrities, business executives, politicians, and international investors gathered beneath glittering chandeliers. Every detail had been planned perfectly, especially the breathtaking chocolate cake designed by a world-famous pastry chef. Unknown to everyone inside, destiny had already invited one unexpected guest who would change the course of Ethan's life forever. Several blocks away, 17-year-old Lily Carter woke before sunrise in a tiny apartment where cracked walls barely kept out the cold wind. Her parents had died years earlier in a tragic accident, leaving Lily to care for her elderly grandmother, Margaret, whose worsening heart condition prevented her from working. Every morning, Lily baked small pastries and arranged handmade flower bouquets before walking miles through busy streets, hoping to earn enough money for food and medicine. Life had taught her to survive with almost nothing, but it had never taken away her compassion. Even when she barely had enough to eat herself, she often shared bread with hungry children and stray animals. Her grandmother always reminded her, "True wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by the lives you protect." Lily never imagined those words would soon save one of the richest men in the country. That afternoon, business outside the luxury hotel seemed promising. Wealthy guests arriving for the birthday gala might buy flowers or pastries before entering. Lily smiled politely at every passing stranger despite receiving countless cold stares. Most ignored her completely. Others offered pity instead of kindness. As the evening approached, a delivery truck entered through the hotel's service entrance. Curious, Lily stepped aside to avoid blocking the workers. While gathering flowers that had fallen from her basket, she accidentally noticed an elegant woman standing alone beside the enormous birthday cake waiting to be moved into the ballroom. The woman wore a dazzling diamond necklace and an expensive emerald evening gown. Her confident smile disappeared the moment she looked around to ensure no one was watching. From a designer handbag, she carefully removed a tiny crystal bottle containing a transparent liquid. With slow, deliberate movements, she poured several drops into the cake's chocolate filling before smoothing the icing until no trace remained. Lily's heartbeat nearly stopped. She wasn't imagining it. She had clearly seen the mysterious woman tamper with the cake. Before Lily could react, the woman quietly placed the empty bottle beneath a catering cart and calmly walked away as though nothing had happened. Fear overwhelmed Lily. She was only a poor street girl. Who would ever believe her accusation against a sophisticated woman dressed like royalty? For several terrifying moments, she considered remaining silent. Perhaps she had misunderstood. Perhaps it wasn't dangerous. But every instinct told her that if she walked away and someone died, she would never forgive herself. Taking one deep breath, Lily abandoned her basket and sprinted through the service entrance. Inside the ballroom, Ethan had just finished thanking his guests. Thunderous applause filled the room as photographers surrounded him. The birthday cake rolled toward the center stage while waiters prepared golden dessert plates. Then the massive ballroom doors suddenly burst open. "Stop!" Lily screamed. Everyone turned. She ran across the polished marble floor before security tackled her just a few feet from the stage. "Don't let him eat that cake," she cried desperately. She put something inside it. Gasps echoed across the ballroom. Several guests laughed. Others looked horrified. Ethan's fiancée, Isabella Monroe, gently placed a hand over her mouth, pretending to be shocked while secretly studying Lily's frightened face. Security tightened their grip, preparing to remove the interruption. Then Ethan quietly raised his hand. "Wait." The room instantly fell silent. He walked toward Lily and calmly asked, "Tell me exactly what you saw." With tears streaming down her face, Lily described every detail: the emerald dress, the crystal bottle, the hidden vial beneath the catering cart, and the strange look on the woman's face. Before anyone could respond, Isabella laughed softly. "Poor child," she said sympathetically. "She's obviously confused. She's probably hoping someone rewards her with money." Many guests nodded. A famous businessman whispered, "This is ridiculous." A politician muttered, "Throw her out." An investor rolled his eyes. Only Ethan remained silent. Something about Lily's trembling voice didn't sound rehearsed. It sounded terrified. Instead of cutting the cake immediately, Ethan surprised everyone. "We'll delay dessert," he announced. The crowd groaned with disappointment. Meanwhile, Ethan secretly instructed his chief of security to inspect the kitchen without alarming the guests. The celebration continued. Music returned. Champagne flowed. People danced as though nothing had happened. Lily waited alone in a private security office, convinced she would soon be arrested for causing chaos. Exactly 2 hours later, the ballroom doors opened once again. This time the chief of security entered carrying a sealed evidence bag. Inside it lay the tiny crystal bottle Lily had described perfectly. A laboratory team had already confirmed the shocking truth. The bottle contained an extremely rare poison capable of causing delayed organ failure several hours after consumption. The room fell into complete silence. Faces turned pale. No one laughed anymore. Ethan slowly looked toward Isabella. For the first time that evening, she looked afraid. Investigators searched her belongings and uncovered hidden burner phones, encrypted messages, and secret financial transfers worth millions of dollars. The evidence revealed an astonishing conspiracy involving corrupt executives who planned to seize control of Ethan's company after his death. Isabella had never loved Ethan at all. She had spent years earning his trust while secretly preparing the perfect crime. As officers approached, Isabella suddenly tried to escape through the hotel's rear exit. She barely reached the hallway before security intercepted her. Guests watched in disbelief as the elegant socialite they had admired only hours earlier was led away in handcuffs. Outside the hotel, news helicopters filled the night sky. Television reporters interrupted national broadcasts. Headlines appeared everywhere. Homeless girl saves billionaire's life. The next morning, Ethan personally searched the city until he found Lily's tiny apartment. Instead of arriving with reporters, cameras, or publicity, he arrived carrying groceries, medicine, and hope. When he stepped inside and saw Lily's grandmother struggling to breathe, he immediately called the nation's leading heart specialist. Within days, Margaret received life-saving surgery fully paid for by Ethan. But Ethan believed gratitude required more than money. He established a scholarship in Lily's name covering every year of her education through university. He purchased a safe home for Lily and her grandmother. He offered Lily a position on the advisory board of his new charitable foundation, explaining that people with compassionate hearts often make the wisest decisions. Months later, standing before thousands at the opening of a new education center for disadvantaged children, Ethan shared the lesson that transformed his life forever. "I spent years believing expensive suits represented integrity," he said. "But the person who saved me owned nothing except honesty and courage. Never judge someone by the clothes they wear. Sometimes the poorest person in the room carries the richest heart." The audience rose to their feet in thunderous applause. Lily smiled through grateful tears. She had entered that luxury hotel as someone invisible to the world. She left as living proof that one brave voice can silence evil, expose betrayal, and rewrite destinies forever. Because sometimes history isn't changed by kings, billionaires, or powerful leaders. Sometimes it begins with a frightened poor girl who simply refuses to stay silent. As the sun set behind the city skyline, Lily stood outside the new community center that now carried her grandmother's name, watching children laugh and play where hopelessness had once lived. Ethan looked at her with quiet gratitude, knowing that no amount of wealth could ever repay the courage that had saved his life. The same people who had mocked and ignored the poor flower girl now applauded her as a true hero, proving that character is worth far more than riches. Lily never sought fame or fortune. She simply chose to do what was right when everyone else remained silent. Her single act of bravery not only exposed a deadly betrayal, but also inspired thousands to believe that kindness, honesty, and courage can change the world. And so, the story of the poor girl who warned a millionaire became a timeless reminder that heroes don't always wear expensive clothes or hold powerful titles. Sometimes, they arrive with empty pockets, a compassionate heart, and the courage to speak the truth. If this story touched your heart, remember to like, share, and subscribe, because the next unforgettable story could change your life too.